It's very out of the ordinary. Man, missed that NQ short. I even started this session early on purpose, but still missed it. It was just destined, to be honest. Whatever. All right. Well, I'm trading on an evaluation today. Market's moving way too much. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to trade full size on an evaluation, which is actually probably going to be pretty entertaining considering full size plus today's volatility is going to make for some freaking massive moves. I mean, the first trade I have in mind right now, as I called out right when I got in here, I'm bearish for this low. That was a massive trade. However, I couldn't get in. It just so happened right when I started setting up, so I wasn't ready to trade yet. But I'm kind of looking at this possible trade here. But like I told you guys in my channel, this month has been the absolute lowest win rate I have ever had in my entire life futures trading, which is I've been trading futures the same time of day, by the way, for a year and a half. Like it's never been as bad as it is right now. And I'm probably going to complete my back testing and analysis, hoping by mid-ish next week. Yeah, I missed out on this downtrend. That's unfortunate. Um, and then I'll have some answers. It could be it could just be super unlucky time of year. It could be that my edge during the later day is deteriorating, or it's psychological, right? I've been trading live with you guys since essentially January this year. The only new factor is YouTube, but we'll figure it out. But while I was eating breakfast this morning, I kind of well, what do you guys think about this? Because I'm doing it anyways, and it's a fairly boring task. But what would you guys think about me doing my back testing and all that stuff and documentation live in VC with y'all? That way, if you want to be in there, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's not going to be like a lesson or anything, but essentially, I'm retrading every single day, the second and third hour, subjectively, still making some mistakes and whatnot. Retrading every day since all the way back in October. October 1st is where I'm starting because my trading was phenomenal until it got to October. October and November, I was still able to be profitable. And in December, it's like I've been break even. My win rate, I think my win rate just over the last week has been less than 50%, but risk to award makes it like break even. So yeah. But it's annoying though. It's really annoying because you guys see me trade the open. You guys see my pre-market analysis. Shit's great. The first hour is awesome. Um it just really sucks because if I could, I would just I mean, I'd rather trade for 1 hour a day and make more money than I would just trading for 3 hours a day. Right? If I can trade options and futures at the same time, that'd be awesome. I probably can, but last time I did, it ended up going terribly. So I don't know what I'm gonna do just yet. This would be awesome. All right. Well, still bearish on the market. I mean, I can't really chase it. The only possible trade I could have entered was here, and that was right when I hopped into the voice chat, so I wasn't able to get in. But my bearish sentiment is playing out very nicely today. You know what's funny though? Those puts aren't even, the SPX puts aren't even back to all-time highs today. The highest point they were was 806. They're still not at all-time highs. Highest was at 4.5 and they're at 4.3. And during that big drop, so during this pullback right here, so the puts hit, SPX puts hit 4.5 here. During this pullback, they hit 8.3, sorry. They hit 2.2 and they stayed at 2.2 even though it came back down. The other time today they were at 2.2 was at 746 all the way up here. Like the IV, the implied volatility is crazy. People don't understand, if you just trade options, you don't really see it because it's baked in. But, this was 100% gain. I think I averaged like 80 on it. But this morning was crazy. I mean, from high of day, in just 4 candles, NQ dropped 120 points in 4 candles, reached demand, exploded out of demand after retesting it here, huge short squeeze, and in just 2 candles, so it dropped 120 points in 4 candles, and in just 2 candles, it shot back up 92 points in 2 candles just to turn its ass around and in 3 candles dump back 100 points. Like it was like I felt like I was trading FOMC at market open. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, my calls got freaking smoked right here. I was so bullish for high of day. I mean, when was the last time, you know, you drop 120 points, hit demand, and explode back 100 points the other direction without at least sweeping this high? I have no idea. But I was able to stop out, entered puts. Those went deep red, but then they ended up being good. That was wild. That was a very wild morning. What was the question, guys? Yeah, just do my back testing sessions with you guys. I think I might do it. I mean, I'm doing it anyways. It's probably gonna be at. Would you guys rather me do them? I don't know if I'm able to stick to a strict schedule. I kind of like doing them during like the butt crack of dawn, like 5:30 in the morning my time, which would be 4:30, which would be 4:30 Pacific and 7:30 Eastern. I feel like no one would be able to show up for that though. Um, I might be able to do them during the day during market open though. We'll just see. You know what? I'll just keep you guys on standby. I can't put it on the schedule. It's gonna be something that I announce. I'll be like, hey, in 2 hours, this is or I'll just let you guys know on a day by day basis. This is when I'm gonna do it. And each session is probably gonna be about an hour. I'm averaging 1 hour per week of price action right now. I've only done 2 weeks. There's a nice pop out of demand. I can take longs here. I was not quick enough to fill. Was not quick enough to fill. Was not quick enough at all. I really debated on it. I really was going to fill ES here. And I was just not quick enough. But it looks like I'm going to enter longs anyways. Because I'm still bullish for this bare minimum high here. I'm going to have to fill it. Damn it. We'll see. This candle closes nice on ES. I think I'll take it. And again, I'm just trading an evaluation today, so technically not real money. This is the trade that I'm looking at. And I do have it just linked up to my chart. It's better for my psychology when it's linked up to the chart. That's a big selling wick. I can't get in unless that invalidates. That is bullish. I was trying to be bullish right now. It didn't really open that bullish though, so I don't know if it's going to stay. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait for this candle to close to enter. But I think it's probably going to explode up and I'm going to get a shit average because of it. Let's see. Crazy sticks today. Yeah, David it was insane. I missed all the action yesterday. All the action happened from FOMC. No wonder why yesterday's session was so shitty. Look at this. We dropped on ES. We dropped over 200 points. Smoked. I told you guys though. Statistically speaking, the recessions happen after rates start getting cut. For the most part, or just in the recent things. I'm triggered back in NQ shorts. I need one more red candle though. You could enter on that candle, but it's way too early. Just touch demand. I'm not willing to do it. The market is way too volatile, way too easy to get swept. But um, I don't want to shorten this super heavy demand. But damn, like I'm bearish to this low. I'm bearish for demand to break on NQ. Is that a massive trade I'm willing to bet on though? That's the thing. Am I willing to bet on this? I might be. Jeez. I mean, I'm trading an evaluation, so it's not a huge deal. I'll see how this candle closes. Can't do anything till the last 10 seconds anyways. Hey, that did not close right. So that's a potential red trade avoided. And I'm willing to enter early into the next candle. If the next candle opens red and invalidates the buying wick, I'm hopping in. If it ends up hurting me more than it helps me, whatever, I'll write it down. But yeah, it did it. All right. I have a pretty tight stop loss. Oh, shoot. I'm not on the right thing. There we go. Uh, 750. Well, it's got a good risk to reward. That's about it. Do I think it's going to just plummet through the rest of this demand? Probably not, but you know, it is. I mean, it's a valid trade. It's just usually, I'd like a price target a lot closer. I'd say the odds of this trade are maybe 50%, maybe 48. But the risk to reward's good. But keep in mind, I'm trading on an evaluation, so it's not that serious. I've had this evaluation for like a month and it's about to renew, so I either need to make it or blow it. I'm gonna be quiet so I can journal. I didn't even start today. It's a bullish candle though. It looks like it wants to bounce out of demand and sweep my stop. It might come right back down. I think I'll try it one more time if it does. Yep, nope, that's a pretty bullish candle. Well, it looks like it is going to get to the area that I said it was going to. I'm bullish for it to get to here. I can trade it. I don't really just want to reverse my trades a bunch though. Um, it is bullish to there. I honestly don't want to just keep re-entering trades though, so I'm gonna wait. If it gets there, it's fine. But I just don't want to keep re-entering trades. If I stop out of this trade, then I'm probably gonna have to get back in shorts, and I don't want to deal with all that. But I highly recommend you guys trade micros today because we are moving quite a bit. That's a damn solid channel. If this candle closes like this, I'm gonna have to enter longs. Like I'm gonna have to. If next candle opens green, I'll take it early into the candle. It opened green. If it goes green one more time, I'm taking it. NQ stronger than ES now. Everything is hyper risky today. Price action's crazy. Possible like baby inverse head and shoulders on ES. If this candle flips green, I'll take it. I have no idea, FEMA. I can't help with that, unfortunately. Kind of an early entry there. I'll give it a shot. You know, it's not bad. It's not terrible. In the last 10 seconds, it got this huge buying wick. My hypothesis was the candle would flip green. Well, it did flip green. Uh, but it's trying to put in another red candle. So this red candle needs to go away. No, looks like it's gonna oscillate back down and stop out. That was a pretty damn good entry too. But do not follow these trades unless you agree with the sentiment. I'm not going to be picky today. I'm trading an evaluation, trading a single evaluation, and yeah, I'm not being very picky with my trades today. Looks pretty good to stop out. I think he is going to try to drag it down. This candle opened fairly bearish. Didn't get any momentum in the beginning of this candle. It's probably going to flip red. It did need flip red, just as predicted. You know, I just have issues shorting in such strong demand. I mean, I allowed myself to get triggered in the last trade. Was a really good entry. Um, But that demand is so strong. I think I'm going to take the short just for data collecting purposes. But don't take a trade unless it's already your sentiment. Well, ES flips stronger than NQ. It has potential. Not if NQ gets a selling wick. If NQ gets a selling wick, it's gonna go for demand. This selling wick nearly guarantees my stop loss. It's not validating that selling wick. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for low a day. I don't know if we're gonna get to my pivot down there. We do have a perfect channel on NQ, so it's hard to keep going short with this channel and how heavy this demand is. I think this is like 4 demand zones, maybe just 3. Yeah, it's just 3. Oh, he has the potential to squeeze, but I think it's gonna do something like this. The odds of getting baited into shorts just for it to shoot right out again is so high. I mean, both times we tested this demand, look at the candles we got. No selling wick, no buying wick, just green rectangles. Well, surprisingly, bears could not push it to demand even after that selling wick. So this is set up to short squeeze. If this candle closes like this, it is totally set up to short squeeze. I don't want to be hopeful that it will, but that's an inverse head and shoulders. That looks pretty damn good. That looks as good as this trade's ever going to get. And that candle looks like my PT's way too close, and it's going to get to up here. I'm not willing to put my PT that far, though. I mean, damn, that's a really... I could put my PT that far. I don't want to, though. I don't want to, you know. I feel like it's too likely to sweep and go back down. I'd rather re-enter somewhere up here if it consolidates a bit. But that's a textbook channel. The width, I think I'm selling myself short with this PT after looking at it. I don't care. I don't care. The trade nearly stopped out, so I ain't changing it. But look at the width of this channel. That puts us above Hive Day. Very surprised that trade didn't stop out. That selling wick looked like bears are going to push it to demand. I told you guys, I had a feeling though, like, even if it did, it would be so hard for me to go short because that demand just looks like it wants to squeeze shorts every time it touches. Yep, Daniel, that's about right. I think it's going to get higher, but you know what? That trade almost stopped out. I'm lucky that didn't stop out. So that first loss was minus 600. Did I get slippage on that last trade? Why was that last trade so much? Hang on. That last trade I lost 635 for one mini. This trade I made 885. That's a sexy price target if I've ever seen one. Um, where did that sell me at? 526.25. 526.25. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Stop loss did its job too. In this trade, sold me. That's a. Oh my gosh, look at that PT, folks. Finally, I'm starting to get freaking lucky again. I tell you guys what, this future set, like I dread this future session lately. Like my stats have never been worse. And on top of that, with other stuff I got going on in my life, plus doing it on YouTube as well, my psychology has never been worse, to be completely honest. But that's why I'm doing that huge back testing that I'm doing. But my psychology's been freaking atrocious lately. Okay, well, now I don't know what to do. Because, you know, it could be a short to low a day. This would be your early entry for short to low a day. I certainly as hell wouldn't take it though. It's just not as likely enough. But that's an early entry to low of day. Okay, tell you guys what, if this candle closes above that previous low, I may take a stab at it. So that right there is a bearish sweep. But that's not closing right. So no thank you. But man, this channel is textbook. Like, oh, I don't want to short. Look at the channel we have on NQ. Like, when was the last time you guys saw a channel this perfect? It's been a while. I'd honestly rather just go long if this entire drop invalidates. And put the PT forever away, you know? This would be stop loss. PT's all the way up here in BFE. And I just sit here and wait. Be crazy risk to award, but whatever. Do I really think it's going to do that? It swept. It swept that pivot a little bit too hard if it's going to do that. But, if it invalidates this recent drop in a very aggressive manner, it could. But I'm completely torn. Shorts and longs look good for their own reasons. I think I'm willing to give shorts a shot if this. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a short. I need the last 10 seconds of the candle though. If it closes like this with very little to no buying wick, I'll take a chance on it and have a tight stop loss. It's not closing like that though. If the next candle opens red, I'll take that too. No, I'm like an Enki long still. Damn it. You know what? No, I'm not taking short. Even if it goes right back down, I think if it does get to low day, I think it's going to bounce out of demand before it does that. So I think there's too high of a probability I'll have a chance to enter shorts without trying to predict the initial first leg. I think if it does go down, it's going to do something like this. And then I'll be able to enter there. The risk is way, plus you got ES's lower lows with buying wicks. The risk is just way too high to short right now. And it sucks because I really want to get in on it, but nah, I'm okay. You guys can't enter short right here. This is bearish. This is a little bear pennant. Um, Too much buyers, man. Too much buying wicks here and here. Too much inverse head and shoulders possibilities here on ES. I'm okay. The odds just really aren't there. I think my psych is a little bit deteriorated, and that's why. And I don't think it's deteriorated like I'm trying to make money back. I think it's just like there's so much volatility in the market that I really just want to get into something. So my prediction is that it's probably going to touch demand or just make a lower low and bounce. Let's see if it does do that. Because it got to where I pretty much knew it was likely to go, which is this low. That's like the bare minimum. But it was really hard for me to see a continued drop through that. But it's closing without a buying wick. It might do it. It is doing it. What a gorgeous price target we had. All right, we're now in demand again on NQ. I can't enter unless it bounces. I made up my mind. Okay, it's bouncing. Now, if the next candle is red, is that enough of a bounce and invalidation to get me in? Probably not, but I think I'll roll with it. But I'm hoping it bounces for at least more than one or two candles. If it gets all the way back up, then I'm in longs. I will be in there like underwear. I'll give it a shot. ES will have this beautiful inverse head and shoulder. The problem is the PT would literally be forever away, and I don't think I'm going to be able to hold that long. But I have no other good PT. If it gets to here, it's definitely going to get to here. But even then, it's only trimming the PT down by like 15%. I told you guys that I was bearish for it to drop, but it was way too likely to bounce before getting low updates, way too likely to bounce out of demand. Holy shit, that's a good candle. I'll allow myself to enter if this candle closes decent. I'm going to force myself to wait for the last 10 seconds as per usual, but yep, I am triggered into longs here. Very much so. We got 6 seconds. Well, it's probably going to get a selling wick right after I fill it, but I don't care. All right, we'll see. I mean, that's textbook fill. Even if I stop out of this trade immediately, I have to get in. Of course, the super crazy risk to awards, 2.0 plus aren't very likely, but you know what? Inverse head and shoulders on ES. I got this Couldn't be more perfect channel on NQ. This is a trade I have to get into, and here's the unfortunate part, which is why you need to think ahead when you're trading. What are you gonna do if we start chopping sideways here? You're probably gonna enter a bunch of red trades in a row and end up blowing your account, so size appropriately for that. Okay, NQ's been stronger than ES. I'm hoping it stays that way. It looks like it's trying not to be, though. That was a bearish candle open. And it is a bearish candle as a result. If this candle flips green, that is very, very bullish. I don't know if it's going to. It looks like it could. Look what this candle just did for those of you guys on your own charts. It opened bearish, dropped as expected, but then it swept the low of this buying wick and it's trying to flip green. That'll usually produce at least one green candle right after that happens. Let's see if it does this time. It's trying to flip it green. It's not. Yeah, it barely flipped it green. I wanted it to cover up that red body and it didn't. So still a little bit bullish, but not super bullish. Nope, that looks like a bull trap. So, and here's the sticky thing. If we come back down, do I enter shorts? I'm not going to. I'm not willing to take that many losses in a row. But if we come back down, yes, I could be triggered in for shorts right here to low of day. I'm not willing to. I'm not willing to potentially stop out a million times if it decides to chop sideways, especially with this massive volatility that's going on. But it's guaranteed to stop out now. There it is. And let's see. Yeah, I'm not willing to enter shorts. Damn, but that's a good trend line. Never mind, it's not that great of a trend line. I lied. Top trend line's way better. But if your bias is bearish, that last candle's your entry candle. Let's see if it bounces out of demand again. Man, it's a bearish chart though. It's hard for it's so conflicting because that channel's so bullish on NQ. It's been chopping down, but it's a bearish chart on the 15-minute. That's still a solid short entry. I think we're actually gonna get low of day. That chart looks bearish. I hope we don't. I hope we bounce so I can participate in shorts, but I made up my mind. I'm not gonna reverse my trade. I'm not gonna expose myself to two losses like that. Um, But the 15-minute chart is totally bearish. That stop loss gets a double check mark. Is there a gap in green zones? What do you mean? A gap in the green zones? I mean, everything can't be demand. That looks great for a new low of day. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It stopped me out the way that it is. You know, my stop loss candle was also my entry candle for shorts, and I'm not willing to do that pretty much ever. Like, I'm very rarely willing to do that. Um, so, go to start with the first three lessons from Mark Douglas. What is top three? What do you mean first three lessons for Mark Douglas? Watch the entire series. You have to go in order, Blackhawk. Yeah, it's one course. It's one course that's split into 7 parts. You got to go in order. You got to go from number one to number two to number three. It all flows. No, it's not subjects. Yeah, the Mark Douglas course on my YouTube. For some reason, when you click the playlist, it'll try to start you at the seventh one. I don't know why it does that. Um, but yeah, no, it's definitely you have to go in order from one to two to three, so on and so forth. Yeah, they're different demand zones, Vargas. I am so bearish. I would love to be in shorts right now. But every time, man, we exploded out of this demand so hard. And when I wanted to be short here, what happened? It exploded to the upside. So, but it's definitely still bearish, very bearish. I have a small pivot right here. We're probably not going to bounce before hitting low of day, unfortunately. But if we do, I'd love to go short. I want to enter roughly here. And if we just dump towards low a day, um, yeah, if we just dump towards low a day, I'll go for this BT. But if we kind of chop towards it, I'll go for this. But honestly, this is an entry candle right here for shorts. Just not willing to take it. Too close to low a day, too heavy demand. Can't take it. Looks like I'm going to miss out on this move. Looks like it's going to get low a day right now. Kind of looks like it wants to bounce after doing it, though, so we'll see. Could potentially make for a good long, depending on how it sweeps this first blue line right here on NQ. Right, there's new low day. And there's my first blue line. Just barely missed it. Ah, man, I would have loved to get in. I would have really loved to get in, but the context just didn't really allow it. It's like the 15-20% of the time that reversing will actually make you money. Most of the time it doesn't. ES perfect double bottom. If it bounces, I'm going short. I hope it does bounce. I would have loved to go short before low of day. But, oh wait, that's not perfect double bottom on ES. Never mind. Yeah, swept it by one tick. But we still missed this NQ pivot. I'd still like to go short somewhere up here. And here's a small pivot that I missed. No, we might just break this demand right now without bouncing. I'm very surprised that it put in that selling wick. Let's see if the next candle reverse. If the next candle invalidates it, it's a big green candle. Then I think we're gonna bounce pretty hard. But without that potential green candle, it's looking like we may just continue dropping. This candle's red on it. That is so bearish, guys. Not able to chase it. Like I said, I'm probably gonna miss out on this entire drop. I'm bearish for us to break demand. I was in the very beginning. I gave it a shot and got smoked. Um, it's just the big time frame chart's way too bearish. But you know what? We can still bounce, and I can't go short with the likelihood of bouncing too high. It's way too high of a likelihood. So I'm gonna hang out on my phone until I get a trade that I can enter. I'd like to enter short somewhere up here, but honestly, I'm willing to enter even right here. Um, we'll have to see. Could bounce high. I don't really think it's going to. These selling. Oh my gosh, that is bearish. If this candle closes red, it is a bear pennant, and technically I am able to get in shorts for the demand break would be my PT. But we're on a pivot. We'd be at low of day, and so would ES. You guys know my rule. I can't take continuation trades on pivots. Pretty much 80% of the time I say that rule stops me from getting into a trade, that trade ends up being red. So yeah, I'm not able to get in. Oh, that is bearish. Damn it, my rule. I can't get in. I can't get in. But that's a bear pennant. If that candle closes without that buying wick, I mean, that's as berry of a bear pennant you could ever get. But, you know, it's in demand and on a pivot. I cannot get in. Because still, even though I'm bearish, the odds are not great. Because the demand plus the pivot counteract that trend and the bearish consolidation. So I can't get in. And what do you know? The bear pennant on a pivot in demand breaks to the upside. Wow, it's almost like we have rules for a reason. There we go. I love it. I love when I don't get in something because I'm not allowed to, and I'm just proven why I'm not allowed to. Happens nearly every time. So I'm still leaning bearish because NQ missed my pivot, but you know what, guys? I mean, we have so many lower lows. The channel's still perfect. I might end up still getting into longs. Look at the way it's every time it's been in this demand, it's exited pretty much the same way. So so strong. I'm wondering if we can get a continued short squeeze. I won't enter longs unless we get up to here. Um, and that could be the PT. Yeah, you know, I could put the PT way further. But if we invalidate that entire green candle, I think I'm still willing to go short. The trades, the problem, if we invalidate the entire green candle, the problem is my PT is gonna have to be the demand break, and I think those odds are still a little not likely enough. But these are the potential trades here. Oh my gosh, it's invalidating, folks. It wants me to get into shorts. I don't know if it's for me or against me, but it wants me to get in. Well, if the candle closes like that, so I have 6 more seconds, I'm going to hop into shorts. I may get stopped out immediately, but that's really what I wanted, right? I wanted a bounce for it to get validated. Here's the last 10 seconds. I can't get in with this buying wick here. Because this could really short squeeze. The fact that shorts just pushed it all the way down and then they got invalidated again, this thing could go. If that buying wick goes away, I'm in shorts. There we go. That's why I wait for the... Look, we're just getting rules reinforced at the moment. That's why I let candles close. There you go. That's why I wait for the last 10 seconds. Even that right there was a good entry for longs. It still is. It's stronger than ES. It's still a, you know, it's an early entry for longs. I kind of like it though. I like how close a stop loss would be. If the candle closes exactly like this, I'll enter. It's a lot riskier because I'm entering a lot earlier. I did place my order and I did fill where I did not want to fill. But whatever. So very unfortunate. I did fill the early entry. I still like the later entry more. The way that candle closed specifically, I like the later entry more. I don't think the trades, I wouldn't follow that. You can if you want to. Here's why this is pretty unfortunate. NQ was stronger than ES. I wanted to fill, and I tried filling before ES got to the high of this selling wick, right? Because I knew that that candlestick formation is bullish on ES. The next candle would likely be green above this high, and by that time, the hope was NQ would be somewhere near here. But if you look closely at the very end, like right as I filled, so I put my order in, and after I put my order in, it did not fill me. ES swept this high, and NQ started flipping weak and came right back down. So that was very unfortunate. So I would not follow this trade. I would take the later entry. Or if this entire red candle gets invalidated, you can take it, but it got unluckily screwed up 3 seconds after I entered or after I put my order in. It could still work out, but my stop loss is so dang tight on this trade. It's probably just going to sweep it. If any small thing goes wrong, it'll sweep it. Problem is, I wanted to cancel my order, but it got filled like immediately after that happened. I couldn't cancel it in time. Yeah, it kind of looks like NQ's weaker. It looks a little bit better now, but it's that was really botched. I'm really lucky. I mean, it could still stop out. I'm really lucky that didn't stop out immediately. That looked really bad there. I mean, you guys saw it. You guys saw it pull all the way back, near my stop loss and validated that entire green candle. I pretty much saw that coming right after I entered. That's why I said don't fill unless the red candle validates. You know what? But now we're pretty much at my. If we go a little bit higher, we'll be at where I would have entered. It was a later entry. So moving up this stop loss just a little bit. If it comes all the way back down, no way it doesn't. So I'd like to move the stop loss all the way up to here, but it hasn't gotten quite high enough yet. If it breaks over the trend line, I'll do that. Let's see this. What test of this perfect, guys? This is a perfect trend line on NQ, and you guys know how I feel about perfection. It doesn't exist, right? It's like nature. There's no perfection in nature. Like you're not gonna walk by a riverbed and see a perfect sphere of a rock, or like a stick that's a perfect straight line. That's the way I look at perfect trend lines and perfect like triple bottoms and double bottoms and stuff. They're only there because they were man-made, and nothing man-made lasts, right? And there's the perfect trend line breaking. Well, it'll be a damn shame if this trade does not hit BT, but you know what? My stop loss is tight as hell now. Could put my stop loss at break even. I don't really want to though. All right, now ES has a perfect trend line. This is a heavy resistance area for ES. NQ didn't sweep this tiny pivot here, my previous long entry. So let's see what happens. Looks like it's trying to reverse back to the downside, but I'm not seeing any major volume on this candle, so I don't think it's super likely to. I don't think it's likely to reverse. I think if it pulls back, it's going to be temporary. Keep in mind the we did get lower lows in demand, even though we barely missed this. It's a baby pivot. It's not that big of a deal. Um, but this channel setup, we can run for a while. It's a hell of a channel break. Now my stop loss can go to break even because if it's somehow reversed all the way back down, no way in hell it wouldn't plummet to new low of day. There you go. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. And you know what, guys? I still have a shitty 50% win rate. Now, granted, we're up $1,000 on this account with a 50% win rate. That's pretty damn good. That's good risk to award, but still, it's like I hate having a shit win rate and having to take. I like winning a lot more than losing, so I don't do very good psychologically with high risk to award strategies because I just don't like losing. I'm too good at TA to lose all the time. Okay, now that looks so damn bullish. You could put your PT all the way up here. My PT was already super far away, so I didn't want to put it further. But it was hard for me to see that, yes, I'm bullish for it to break and run, but after what we've been experiencing, you know, now I'm willing to. If we put in some kind of bullish consolidation here, I'm willing to take longs to this high up here. I really am. Looks like both of our hypotheses were correct, right? Channel break to the upside and new low a day on NQ and ES. We got both. It just wasn't in the order that would have prevented me from losing a bunch of money. What was that trade? One mini on NQ. That was a $1,400 trade. per account if you're copy trading. Type in chat, you guys make money on that trade? You guys should be up a shit ton, you know? My 2 losses were about for per mini, averaged out to about 650 bucks each. And my first win was 900, almost 900, and the second one was 1400. That is bullish. I think it's going to get to my white line. Not entering unless it pulls back though. And honestly, I'm going out of town. I'm fine calling it here as a successful day. Another shitty risk to reward day, but I mean win rate, but a successful one. I would like for it to pull back though. I would love to take longs to my next soon to be blue line. ES just missed its as well. Okay, why is my magnet not working? Hello? Why is my magnet not working? It's busted. Are you kidding me? Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, it's going to get straight there. Yeah, it's going to get there. I'd be very surprised if it pulls back before it gets there. I hope it does. I really do, but that's a break. That's a short squeeze. That looks good. Told you guys. I let candles close for a reason. I almost entered shorts on this candle. And again, the continuation trades on pivots. I cannot do it. This was a clean bear pennant during a downtrend. That's 2 reasons to be bearish, but we had very heavy demand and we were on a pivot. That's 2 reasons to be bullish. Completely counteracts that. Type in chat, at least at the minimum, over the last couple of weeks, have you guys seen enough of that rule to make it a rule for yourselves? Type in chat. It's a good rule. It's one of my very few TA rules that I have. You're on the wrong contracts. Yeah, you need to be on H5. You need to be on NQH and ESH. I bitched out and sold early. Damn it, Nick. Nick, we have a 50% win rate. We can't afford you to bitch out and sell early on wins. Because then it ruins everything. That is a bullish candle. I want to enter right now. I can enter right now. I really can. Do I like the risk to reward though? It's okay. Am I willing to take a loss on it? I personally am. You guys may not though. This candle kind of invalidates that selling wick a bit more. I'll enter. Yep. It's a very small trade. Don't take it unless you're willing to take a loss. Because if this does end up pulling back, that would be unfortunate. Honestly, I'm surprised this red candle's even happening. Like the 2 candles that I entered on, this selling wick, followed by this green candle that swept the low of the buying wick and closed with a strong green body, and validating most of that selling wick. It's pretty bullish. But now it doesn't look so good. So now don't enter unless the red candle invalidates, because yeah, that kind of went out the window. Looks more likely to stop out at the moment. Nearly done documenting that. So I did want to wait for a pullback, and now I'm getting it. So it would have been better if I waited for a pullback. So it looks like it wants to stop out. But the thing is, hang on. I was about to say, if this candle flips green and finishes green, that is extremely bullish. Good Lord, that's bullish. It doesn't even matter though. Waiting would have been better regardless. And that's just one of those things I need to count up the stats. The reason I pulled the trigger there, not only because the candles were bullish, but if it went up any more, If it went up anymore, I wouldn't have been able to get in because that was the last point that I was able to get away with a 1-to-1 risk to reward before having to wait for a pullback or potentially just missing out on it. Um, and given those two candles, the odds were too high that the pullback was not going to happen. But clearly, it still happened. So that's just a good little stat for the journal. I'll be back in if it goes back up, though. No way, just perfectly swept my stop loss. Holy shit, I'm unlucky. And now I have to get back in if this candle goes green. Put my stop loss there for a reason. It was pretty much the 1-to-1. Yep, that candle's closing green enough. Damn it, I have to get back in. Well, see what happens. Damn it, it's not that much more likely. It didn't sweep the low of that candle, so I still have to have a very tight stop loss, and it could sweep it. That is unlucky. It got my stop loss by a single tick. That's very unfortunate. It's a very good stat to jot down in the journal. Oh shit, NQ's way weaker than he is. That does not look good. It's still bullish, but that doesn't look good. That looks really good for a pullback. Looks like I'm going to stop out twice here. Yeah, NQ flipped way weaker than ES. What the hell is NQ doing? NQ was stronger on my entry candle, and then ES got this green candle to the pivot. I needed NQ to break to the upside when it did that, so somewhere up here, and it did not. It didn't move. It didn't move its ass. So it just compromised the probability of this trade. Still, it's still bullish consolidation. It's still very bullish, but I'm operating with such a tight stop loss that, it's pretty hard to it's pretty hard to not get swept. Yeah, stop loss is man. Now I need ES to get through a pivot, which is a like a very heavy resistance level. And I don't just need it to get through its pivot like it's doing right now. I need it to really shoot up over its pivot, which the likelihood of that just isn't very high. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to sweep it, and NQ still being weak. Looks like I'm going to stop out again here. Unfortunate. Should have just been one loss instead of two. The fact that it swept my damn gosh, that's so unlucky. Not only did it sweep my stop loss by a single tick, but then it went right back up enough to confirm me in, and then flipped super weak right after it did that. That ruined this trade. I'm starting to think we might not get up at all because we also just made a higher high on NQ, and that just confirmed a bearish liquidity sweep. So we might just dump here. I have a 3-strike rule. I'm willing to give it one more shot, but if I give it another shot, it needs to come down to here and then do something like that. Then it'll look good enough. But I'm starting to think we could just go back to low of day. That was not supposed to happen. NQ was not supposed to flip weak like that. We'll see what happens. Let's see how big of a sweep ES wants to put in. All right, that's a pretty damn good stop loss. Gosh, NQ shit the bed on that one. Should have only been one loss there, but even then, that trade should have hit. That was beautiful consolidation. I don't know why it flipped so weak right here, but that's why I said, especially after swept this high. That's why I said we might just go all the way back down to low day. That shit was not supposed to happen. You know what? I'm willing to take a trade to low day. You can enter now. The odds won't be good, but the risk to reward will be insane. Yeah, I don't really mind it. I don't mind it. I do not mind shorts to low of day. It's just, it's too high still. Longs are too much of still an opportunity. Like I said, I'll give it one more shot. If we do go back up, yeah, I'll give it one more shot. And this would be the trade. That would pretty much be it. 1-to-1. Not bad. And then shorts. I mean, ideally, I would want the bounce. Maybe a head and shoulders. And then I enter right here for this pivot. So we have some solid trades setting up at the moment. That was just super unlucky. Well, I'm gonna have to enter on this candle. That's a bullish enough candle to get me in. Yep. I didn't really want to enter already, but I kind of have to. If it goes right back down, that would be extremely unfortunate. Because that is like, that's the best probability long we've had all day. From the entry alone. This was a great long entry though. This long entry, very high probability. This is even higher. Like this is, if I'm not in this, I have to tase myself. Man, it just still freaking sucks. I stopped out. I shouldn't. That should have been one loss there. That should have been one loss, really. But oh well. What can you do? Document it, move on. And if it keeps happening, then you change something. You change a variable, and then it stops happening as frequent. That's how trading methodically works. But the key is, do not take a trade if you're not willing to spend the money to find out if it's going to be profitable, right? So if you're not willing to lose 3 times over, most people have no problem hopping into this great trade setup, but they're not willing to lose on it. And a lot of people can't take losing 3 times in a row on the same setup, and they're going to move their stop loss, average down here, and boom, account's gone. We don't do that. Or we try not to. This is a 5 out of 5 TA setup. It'd be a shame if the 5 out of 5 TA setup doesn't work out, but like I said, NQ flipping weak there kind of screwed it up. So ES is gonna have to get like one more big green candle or 2 more green candles to get NQ to PT. Which I don't know how likely it is. You could honestly put your PT further away. This is another solid PT, but I'm being as close as possible. With ES already being over this pivot and us entering, like look how high the liquidity is up here. Us entering our opening range, there's going to be so much resistance up here. I'm just not willing to put my PT further. Hey, but like I said, the channel itself, here was the width of said channel. The channel itself has a width that can produce a run pretty much too high of day or all the way to up here, which is pretty much high day. I'm bullish for a high day then. So this is still well within the potentials of the channel. I just need ES to get up more. It does look like NQ stronger though, so very high chance it gets there. No, if I trade MNQ, I still refer to the NQ chart. But it's not going to make a huge difference, you know? It's really not. You're probably going to get very similar, if not identical, trade results if you trade on the MNQ chart. But because of my supply and demand indicator and other things that are a lot more fluent on the ES and NQ chart, it's just ES and NQ chart override all charts for me. And so even if I'm trading MNQ, I'm still using the NQ chart. Well, we got higher highs with selling wicks, heavy resistance. I told you guys that ES pivot's going to be a big problem for this trade. Still could not have been a more likely trade to play out. Like super, super likely trade. But it's trying to reject right now. Let's see how much it's able to do it. I'm able to move my stop up just a little bit. It's not going to change the odds of it stopping out. That is a bearish sweep. We may get I may just this may be hyper unlucky right now because that's enough to stop me out of this trade. And this could not have been a better trade. It really couldn't have. But I told you guys that ES freaking pivot is ruining it. And that is bearish. That is such a bearish sweep. Um, yeah, even if I wasn't in this trade, not bearish enough to enter shorts. I'm gonna wait for this trade to stop me out, and then I might take another trade. I might not. We'll end up seeing. But it looks like price action's being shitty again because this trade should have played out. The fact that it's even I don't even care if it goes right back up, which it probably won't. It's probably going to stop me out. This drop should not have happened. That was 95% trade probability right there. Everything from the way it pulled back, the entry candle, is 95% odds at the minimum. But I think we might just go right back to low of day because it's now put in a massive rising wedge. We might go back to low of day. So I'll take one more trade and it'll be short, and that'll be it. There's the rising wedge. Now, if I were trading on a PA account, probably would have stopped after that last big trade when I was up 1,000. But I'm trading an evaluation, was only trading for about 45 minutes, so I'll trade most of the time. As long as price action looks good. Right now it doesn't look good, so it doesn't look like I'm gonna be trading too much longer. Geez, that's a short entry right there. ES Not as much. The red candle is a lot smaller, but if that bounce invalidates, it should at least get the low of that selling wick. I mean the buying wick below my stop loss on NQ. Let's see how far down it actually goes. That is such a good short trade. I can't take it though. Not only am I in a long trade, but I'm unwilling to reverse out of my long trade. Not do that. But that short entry did play out perfectly. All right, I think the only trade I'm willing to take now is shorts if it drops a ton. Not willing to take longs, even though if it does go all the way back up, it's probably going to end up hitting that PET. I'm not willing to lose again on that setup. Right now, I'm red by like one red trade, which is half of my average green trade today. Yeah, price action got really shitty very quickly. It's very unfortunate I took 2 losses here. I kind of ruined it. Should not have been 2 losses. Jeez, it might have just perfectly swept my stop loss again. We just put in a bullish engulfing candle on NQ just about. I don't know. I don't know. The fact that it swept these higher highs, I'm not willing. I may be willing to enter longs if we swept the low of this selling wick. Um, but unless we do that, I'm not participating in any upside that it could potentially get right now. But I'm starting to think it may have just been out for my stop loss this entire time because that was just a huge short invalidation. So we could potentially produce a solid squeeze here. Let's see if it happens. Now, if this entire green candle does invalidate, I mean, yeah, that could be a short scalp to this low. Um, or you could make a speculative hypothesis and play it all the way down to here. Not very likely of a trade. Yeah, it is actually fairly likely. Because it should have gotten this pivot. And ES swept this one. Looks like a potential head and shoulders now. We've swept higher highs for 4 candles. This one. Oops. This one, this one, this one. I think I'm willing to take a gamble on that trade. If it were a PA, maybe not, but I'm personally willing to take a gamble on an early entry because I know it's at least. I mean, I would be so surprised if it doesn't at least sweep this low. It's just beyond that low. I'm thinking it could possibly do it. Highest risk, highest reward trade of the entire day. But yeah, I think I'm willing to take it and just kind of end off on that note. Whatever happens. But if you guys want something a lot more higher probability, wait for a drop. If it starts bouncing, then you take your entry when the bounce starts invalidating. And there you go. But we really should have got to that pivot. The fact that we didn't. You see what the 50-minute chart. But it still looks like a potential huge inverse head and shoulders, so that's a problem. All right, you know what? I'm willing to take this trade short if it drops. Um, but after it sweeps this low, I got to move my stop loss to break even. That's what I'd have to do. Because big zooming out on the 1 minute, it still kind of looks like a possible inverse head and shoulders, which freaking sucks because I gave it three very good attempts to take longs, but the big time frame still looks bearish. It's still an ascending broadening wedge. Whole thing looks like bearish consolidation. This candle closes a little bit more bearish. I'll take. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll take the chance on that. If it, I probably won't move. I'm not willing to move my stop all the way to break even, but I'll move it significantly down. So if I do stop out, it'll be a very small loss. Here's the last 10 seconds. That's good enough for me. I didn't want to fill that low. I wanted to fill higher than that, but that's just the way the candle closed, unfortunately. All right, so bare minimum, I'm looking for it to sweep this low. After it gets that low, I'll move my stop loss to roughly here. That's the plan. So let's see if it does it. It should do it, especially because we just swept this high. That'd be pretty damn surprising if it doesn't. But if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. It'll be another small loss, and I'll call it a day. NQ just barely made a lower low in his bouncing. Imagine now NQ's flip strong. Not too bad. It's trying to bounce. Yeah, I don't know. This is a huge make or break level. It just made another lower low with the buying wick, which is a fairly bullish signal. And this is kind of bullish consolidation on ES at the moment. Probably give this trade about a 40% chance of working out. But the risk to reward is plenty warrants a 40% chance trade. Close the candle pretty bullish. This one opened bearish though. There are so many buyers stepping in here. It looks like it wants to squeeze to the upside, but the speculative hypothesis is that after it breaks the selling look, we stop loss right back to demand. Okay, it swept. Now I have my tiny stop loss. There it is. Oops. There you go. That's the grand trade. You could take profits early if you want. You're back to green on the day already. If you are barely, it's so sad. Barely you're green on the day right now. So you can't take it if you want. But this was the hypothesis. So we'll see. I need this buying wick to go away. That is a huge volume spike indicating reversal to the upside. Just be aware. This candle did not open bearish either. Doesn't mean it's not gonna. Didn't open bullish though. It opened very neutral, which I don't want to see. I want everything to be bearish right now. I'm honestly ecstatic that the first part of the hypothesis played out. I'm so happy. Because for some reason, if you didn't stop trading, you at least were able to leave and end up being green on today. But it looks like NQ flipped stronger than ES, so kind of looks like it wants to go back up. It looks like it may have just been a liquidity sweep. It still has total inverse head and shoulders potential. That's a huge problem, but it's a damn good shot. It's a damn good this is a damn good trade right here. I'm gonna hang out on my phone until it dumps more as my stop loss. Right now, it's still more likely to get to my stop, especially because NQ is a lot stronger than ES right now. It looks like ES truly does want to keep going down. NQ not so much. That is a very bullish candle on NQ. I think I'm getting scammed by NQ's strength. If it does go all the way back up, it's a pretty decent long, but I'm not going to take it. I'll leave today with as a small red day on this evaluation. Or red by like one small green trade. Actually, not small, like one normal size green trade. That looks bullish to me. That is pretty bullish. That looks like a good long. Not going to take it though. I don't want to potentially lose again on longs. Not willing to do it. All right, well, I ended up getting the stop loss. That was a damn good attempt. Longs look pretty good. I don't want to take it though. Price action's continuing to be pretty shitty. You know, I was able to catch some small things. Unfortunately, really the only move that I called and predicted flawlessly that I wasn't able to get into was this short, and it's because I would have had to hit the reversal button, and that's just not something I typically do. But yeah, another day, shitty win rate. I'm just not catching a break here. These trades really should have worked. The fact that it didn't is very unfortunate. This trade too. But all right, so we will be doing the. Well, first off, you guys won't see me tomorrow. I'm out of town, and then you guys will see me on. Yeah, you guys will see me Monday. But as far as the back testing go, I'll be doing the back testing live in Discord, and we will start that. We can start that on Monday. So, how unfortunate would it be if it swept my stop loss and then ended up going right back down a new low of day? Probably won't though. That's very unlikely. That would just be the shittiest of shittiest luck I've ever seen. But it kind of looks like it just did. You know, I'm gonna hang out for just a little bit to see what this ends up doing. Actually, never mind. I gotta go. I'm not willing to wait that long. But all right, I will see you guys later. Good luck if you keep trading. The back testing should be pretty interesting, but yeah, crazy day today. Very choppy. I was only able to get 2 good trades. Called out 3. Wasn't able to get in the third one, and then it looks like I just got scammed again by NQ strength. If NQ didn't flip super strong there, it wouldn't have got my stop. So this short trade, the short hypothesis looks good to go again. I just think it was destined that I wasn't gonna have a green day on this evaluation. But all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow. I'll see you guys later for the psych lesson and whatnot. Good luck if you keep trading, and DM me if you guys need anything.